Tony Awards happened last night, and guys, most of what I said came true. Kimberly Akimbo won all the major awards like I predicted. It won Best Musical, it won Book, Score, Leading Actress, and Featured Actress. People on Twitter were like, it should be Some Like It Hot. I saw one comment that said, Some Like It Hot is going to be looked at as the great comment, you know, and that's snub. And I'm like, no, but okay. Best performance by a leading actor went to Jay Harrison Gee. I thought Ben Platt was going to win. Still think he deserved to win over Jay. But it was great to see the speech happen. It was very historic. It was very melodic. It was very meticulous and stuff. I don't know. I just really liked their dress. I thought the dress was cool. I thought the outfit was great. As the kids would say, it was great. I don't know why I'm being awkward in the video, but yeah, it was very emotional. And Christian Borle was like crying, and I was like, oh my god, Christian, don't do this to me, man. You're making me feel sad. Leading actress went to Victoria Clark, very well deserved. Featured actor went to Alex Newell, very amazing, very amazing. The speech was great. Didn't know Alex was from Massachusetts, that's where I'm from. But, beautiful speech. Again, I think Justin Cooley, I think, deserved this win. I think Justin's performance was a lot more nuanced than Alex's. Alex has that amazing number, but the character, it's just not that well developed, and there's not a lot to it in terms of, like, the acting part of it, and I just feel like Justin Cooley was better. And if Into the Woods was still going on, and even though it closed, I think Joshua Henry and Gavin Creel should have gotten nominated. And honestly, I think I would have picked I think Joshua Henry deserved the Tony this year. I'm putting it out there. It's a bold take, but I can't just sit by idly and stick with the popular vote, okay? But, you know what? Very happy that Alex won. Featured actress Bonnie Milligan, very emotional speech, very beautiful. Again, we didn't really expect anything else. Direction of the musical went to Michael Arden for Parade. And again, super deserving of Parade. I honestly wouldn't have been disappointed if Into the Woods had won, because I think that directing was amazing. But Michael deserved it. He's paid his dues. He's done his duty. And he created an amazing revival. I've also heard that they'll extend until January if they won Best Revival. And they did. And that was amazing. And then Book and Score went to Kimberly Akimbo. And again, no show could compete. I kind of thought that maybe they would give Shocked Book. I was thinking they might give it that award because they might have loved it. But I'm glad that we're not in last year's ceremony. And that was very traumatic. Where, you know, every show had to get some major award when Strange Loop needed to win everything. And I'm glad that Kimberly just swept. You know, went... Because, you know, when you look at Kimberly Akimbo's score in Book, it is the best out of the new musicals. It just is. Scenic design went to New York, which wasn't a surprise. Costume design, Some Like It Hot, wasn't a surprise. Lighting design, Sweeney Todd. Personally, I would have gone with New York. If you know the song Light, that's in the end of Act 2, that makes the whole theater turn like pink, and I thought it was so amazing, and it was nothing like I'd seen in the theater, so I was like, whoa, that was pretty awesome. But I can see why Sweeney won. Sound design went to Sweeney Todd, and a lot of people were like, what? And I do have to agree, the sound design was kind of very muted and soft. I would have given it to Anne Juliet, even though I've never seen it. Choreography, Casey Nicola, and he was very emotional, and it was nice to see him win. I thought Susan Stroman was gonna win, but after seeing the Sound Like It Hot performance, I was like, oh, that's why they won Best Choreography. I see. And then Best Orchestrations, Some Like It Hot. So overall, everything went away with at least one Tony, except Anne Juliet and Into the Woods. Those were the only two. And Into the Woods is closed, and Anne Juliet doesn't need the Tony wins, because they're already making that paper. Now, as for the performances of this Tony's telecast, I thought New York's performance was fine. It highlighted the best parts of the musical. Although Colton kissing went on for a bit too long. I don't know what was going on there. I was like, whoa, is this like a coming out party? Are you guys dating or something? Is this Reeve and Eva 2.0? I don't know. That's a Hadestown reference because Reeve, Carney, and Eva Nobilzada are dating. So it was fine. Forgettable. You know, it was just typical Broadway. You know, it was just like, I feel like you see a number like that at every Tony ceremony, so it didn't feel special at all. I thought Some Like It Hot blew me away. I did not want to see Some Like It Hot. Still don't. But that musical number actually made me intrigued, and I kind of did wish I had seen it just so I understood the hype around Jay and the choreo. But when the choreography was happening and the dancers were switching bodies, and like first the male went, and then the female went, and then the male went, it was so trippy and yet so amazing. I was like, whoa. I see why it won choreography. And Juliet's number was okay. You know, it wasn't anything special, so there's not anything to really comment on. I do think that, you know, I knew that New York was gonna pick the final number and the opening number because that's the best part of the musical, and then everything else in between is like, it's not great. And then Some Like It had a great choice, you know, and they hadn't done that number before on any like TV special or performance. And then And Juliet, it doesn't need to sell itself because it's already sold, you know. But I want to give attention to Shucked. And I thought that was like the best of the new musicals because they gave you the plot, they gave you a melody that worked. It was a little too hectic. They could have cut maybe one of the songs, but I thought it just was a great way to present the play, the musical. And it just worked. It was very good. And again, I don't like Shucked, but there's a couple of banger numbers. And honestly, I was like, that's a good performance. Like, that is fun and energetic. It's creative, and they incorporated the fact that they were at the Tonys, kind of like Beetlejuice did. And I think that is very smart for shows to do at the Tonys, because out of context, songs can be very awkward and not make sense and not explain the story. Whereas with this number, you knew what the show was, and you knew the plot. You knew what it was about, and it was the perfect commercial for a musical. Even though I don't think it's gonna really go on that for very long, but you know, Into the Woods performance and was amazing. I loved it. It reminded me when I saw the revival at the St. James back in the fall, and I was like, I'm in love with this. And it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful. Sweeney Todd, great performance. Oddly, Groban Groban was much more intense and scary on TV than in the theater, so that was weird. But great performance. And then Parade's Not Over Yet was stunning. Honestly, people who haven't seen it or who will never see it, that performance, I've seen it twice, and that performance was better than the two times I saw it live. There was something about like the energy, like the sing, it just was like it hit you right here, and it just was like, wow, like that was insane. Best I've ever seen them do it. Best I've ever seen them do it, and they deserve to win all of the Tonys. And then Kimberly Akimbo's performance. Listen, I don't think Kimberly Akimbo has had the best marketing, and this proved my point, because why would you do Anagram? Why? It's not a good number to do out of context. The song felt awkward, it felt weird. I'm glad that they did kind of introduce the disease and the plot, but it was done in a very uncreative, it was done terrible. It was done terribly. Terribly. I can't say terribly. But you know what I mean. It wasn't done well. And the number it didn't hit. And I just feel like if I was someone that did not know what Kimberly Akimbo was, I'd be like, like I feel like something like Parade or Into the Woods or Sweeney or Shucked or even Something Like It Hot would get me to buy a ticket more than that. Like, why didn't they do better? Or this time, like Bonnie Milligan is the Alex Newell of that show. Utilize her. Utilize her. Like, listen, they really are doing themselves at this point. So if they close, I'm gonna be like, hey, you did it to yourselves. Because that Tony performance did nothing. Obviously, it will do something. It was a bit of a mixed reception to that number. Box office will increase, but for their first televised performance, because I think they had one other one that isn't online anymore. Not the number to do. Not the number to do. It didn't. And it's a hard show to explain, And I know something like Better or This Time wouldn't explain it that well, But, I just think that at that, when you explain what Kimberly Akimbo is to people, they're like, oh, okay. Like, people on Twitter were like, oh, okay. And I can get that. So, you just have to, sugarcoat it. And Better was like this fun, poppy ballad that was funny. It showed off the show's trademark quirky humor, the characters, and honestly, Bonnie Milligan is the best part of Kimberly Akimbo. And that song, that belt, it just would have won the night so much better. So I don't know why they didn't do that. I think that was terrible. It was maybe the worst Tony performance I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. But anyways, that was the Tony Awards recap. Great Tonys. Honestly, do it without the whole scripted stuff. It just was so much better. And let me know what you think about the Tonys in the comments down below. Peace.